We're on there.
14 miles. I've already straightened that out. That shows up on the map.
Okay.
The wrong one should be required.
Call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Davis? Here. Councilman Bill? Supervisor Runyon?
Here.
Councilman Brown?
Here.
Councilman Volusia?
Here.
Okay, so there's two purposes for our meeting. Well, actually, there's three. The first one would be a resolution introducing the local law and providing for public notice and hearing regarding the tax cap override. You all have a copy of it. Your last page is a copy of the local law. It's the same every year.
I'll
So,
make the motion to introduce it.
thanks, Randy.
I'll second.
Ed seconded, okay. Whereas a local law entitled Tax Levy Limit Override for fiscal year 2025 is hereby introduced, and whereas copies of the proposed local law have been provided to each member of the Thurman Town Board, be it resolved that the Town Board shall hold a public hearing regarding the proposed local law at the Town Hall, 311 Athol Road, Athol, New York, 12810. And you picked a time, right, Cynthia? It's in the paper? What day and time did we? Hmm?
It was at 4:30, you called it.
On October 17th.
On October, yeah. I already put it in the, I already put it in the paper.
October 17th at 4:30 p.m. And resolved that the town clerk shall publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Thurman no later than 5 business days prior to. So you already took care of it.
You got that
That part,
covered?
yeah, that part's already done. So, all in favor, say aye.
And just to be clear for the public who are watching this, that's only if we need to override it, doesn't mean we are going to.
Right. Okay. And then the other thing was to have a conversation regarding the use of the garbage truck, and also for Cynthia to present the budget, the tentative budget. Yeah, you can present the tentative budget. Yeah, I don't mind, but I don't know what the rules are, but I don't, anybody who wants one can have it.
We got a couple extras.
Okay. And you will see that I estimated, well, I know we're not discussing it right now, but I estimated the bond payment to be 300,000, and that will cause us to override the tax levy.
What's the current tax rate?
Don't recall right now, 7 point, you have a budget, right, last year's? Do you have the tax rate on there, on the back of it?
Last page. Where would it be? Bottom right corner. of
It
the
would be
summary
like, do you
table.
have this page, a summary page, or no? Maybe you just have the actual budget itself.
Is it the summary page on that?
No,
Oh, wait a minute, I got this one for budget on the website. Hang on a
I
second.
know it's 7 point something, but I don't remember.
Wait a minute, that's where I copied it from.
I can run up and get it, it'll take me a second.
Let me check. Yeah, there it is, okay.
It's 7 point something, 7.24.
Oh, wait a minute, oh, I thought that's it's the last page. The last page is on here.
It looked like this, and I had stuff at the bottom that said the tax
Yeah, I
capital.
know. But the fire contractual. That's where it ends.
Well, that's just the budget itself. This is a separate page that would have been attached with that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I did it. Take 1 second. Okay, last year's rate was 7.247. And for what I've got so far, without the bond, the rate would have actually been a little lower. Very slightly, but it would have been a little bit lower. But we can discuss all of that when we get into our workshops.
Okay.
7.247. It goes out 3 decimals. Now to come up with the rate, divide what you're raising into this assessed value number here. According to the woman I talked to at the county, the actual finalized number will come out within the next week or two. So this number might change a little bit.
Which number, I'm sorry?
The assessed value over here that you divide into to get the rate. Because last year I had it, and it must have changed because my budget had 7.239, our budget at our own budget, but then when she used a different number, so it was just a little bit off. It went down, it went up to 7.247, only went up like 10 cents, or not even 10 cents, but it's because it changes in October, and I probably had this done before.
Pray for a bigger number.
I would love to. In fact, that is one of the issues that we're facing, and a lot of towns are facing. The assessed value, we're at 71%. That number, if that number was higher, our rate would come down. And based on your difference between fair market value and assessed value, you could end up paying less, and some would pay more.
Yeah, but it doesn't quite work that way though. If the assessed value goes up significantly, yes, the tax rate will go down. But if the total assessed value goes up, the tax rate will go down. However, if your individual assessment goes up and the tax rate goes down, you could end up paying the same, you could end up paying more, or you could end up paying less.
Hence the difference.
Because, the numbers,
It depends on the difference you have between fair market and your assessed.
So, I
So,
mean, the best thing is for the town's total assessment, first of all, to be at 100% valuation, but also the total assessment to go up, and that way you spread the tax burden over more property.
yeah, And if everyone was brought to fair market value, it would be more fair. I believe it would be more fair. So the thing is, how do you get that accomplished? To go from
I'll be
set,
the first one to say it, and, you know, there are gonna be people that are gonna crucify us for it, but it's a reevaluation.
yeah, yep.
And other towns have gone through it, and people,
You're not alone there, I agree with you 100%.
And the thing is, it's going up so fast that, you know, even like if you look at Johnsburg or Chester, they did a reevaluation and they're already dropping to below 95.
well, you have to keep the tax rolls at 100% valuation.
Yeah,
I don't know what the currently, but there was a time when I think that there was some incentive from the state to do that, and I don't know what's going on with that now.
they did discuss that recently. I was on that supervisor roundtable and they talked about the tax cap and there were 70 some people on that. Mostly they are overriding it because it's not keeping up with the expenses. And I don't know how the state does create the fair market value on your tax bill. So if that's a known number, I think, you know, I don't understand why we couldn't just raise it to that number. Although if you had an appraisal, your own individual private appraisal that came in lower, it should be whatever that would equal. It's a tough decision.
Yeah, I don't know that just a single raise like that, they would have to either convince the assessor's appraisal is more accurate than their assessment, or they would have to go to court and grieve it
Mm-hmm.
in order to do it. So.
It's tough to know what to do, but we're consistently dropping. And 71, that's very low. Anything under 95 is grounds to do a reevaluation. That was a long time ago. But anyway, this is what we're left with. So I'll get the new number by the meeting. I should have that number and be able to redo that if need be. So the next question I have is, when do you want to start to meet? You wanted to do it after Full Farm Tour, so that's fine. Do you want to do it before the meeting, or do you want to wait till we have more current financials and do it then?
What are we talking about? The
Workshops, the workshops.
Yeah. So we have the one on the 17th, and that's the public hearing.
Yeah.
And then I thought we were talking about doing something the following week.
We have a hearing in November, we have a hearing.
See, I'm tied up both the 16th and 17th. I'm sorry, Cynthia, I didn't mean to talk over you.
You set your budget hearing.
The 17th.
This November.
It's in November, no, it's not the 17th, it's, yeah, you have, I think it's,
It's October 17th.
well, I have to look at the minutes.
Wait a minute, well,
It can't be for the
am I
budget.
confused? Okay, I'm confused.
The 17th is the public hearing for the tax cap override
Okay, and our regular board meeting
and our regular meeting.
is October 17th.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in October, or in November, I'm sorry, November.
Oh, I know. It was the Thursday after the election, the 7th.
Yes.
November 7th is the public hearing for the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to have a workshop sometime between those two?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Well, you know what? Why don't what we do is you look over the budget and you figure out how you feel about it, what you want to ask about, you know, so that when we have the workshop, we're concentrating on the things that you may want to see changed instead of starting blind and going over, we'll be going over it line by line probably, but it will give you the opportunity to narrow down the topics that we have to work at. And it will give me time to come up with why the numbers are what they are, you know, and I'll be able to show you things like the self-insurance or the retirement invoice. The retirement went up over $20,000 this year. You know, things like that I could present to you.
do you want to tentatively pick a date for a meeting like October 24th? That's the following Thursday after the.
That would be
first
fine.
hearing?
Yeah, we could have a workshop on the 24th.
Okay. 4:30, right?
That's fine.
October,
budget workshop for the 30th. And that will give me time to, I'll have the financials, I'll have the other backup.
Okay, so Thursday, October 24th.
Yeah,
Is this a definite or a tentative?
this is an attempt to get to the preliminary.
But is it, have we tentatively set the date, or are we gonna actually say this is the date we're gonna do it?
This is the date we're gonna do it.
Okay. Okay, budget workshop.
Yeah,
All right, I'll get that right on the website.
yeah.
Okay.
4:30?
Mm-hmm, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of meetings between now and November 20th. That's okay. Okay. So, there's really nobody that came to talk about the garbage truck, unless it's Brian wants to say something about the garbage truck.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. We thought we'd have some public input, but we don't, so.
Did you have a chance to look into the thing that Victoria was talking about,
The hydraulic lift thing?
Yeah, that could be, I researched it. I don't know the full
Didn't
price.
we look into a compactor once before?
We don't have the electricity to run a compactor up
We're gonna
there.
have a ton garage up there, we should have electricity enough to run that.
What's that?
You know how they're changing the electric up there to
Oh,
400?
the engineer said they don't need 3-phase to run that garage.
But he's talking about a compactor.
Yeah, you would need more than, you would need a lot more power.
what's the purpose, what would a compactor do for us that?
I'm just thinking, I mean, the garbage truck, I don't think is gonna work. I'd rather see, sell the garbage truck and get a compactor, and do like one of everybody with a compactor is doing.
What do they do with the compactor after they compact the garbage? Where does it go?
It goes into the, what are the, push it in them bins, roll-offs.
You still have to have a roll-off truck and depend on somebody to haul it for us. And right now, I can't get them to haul anything.
No, they changed the date.
I'm just asking.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I
That's a
know.
good question.
It's good, it's a good thought.
I just don't believe this garbage truck, with the way it's set up, it ain't gonna work.
Would, if we did that, Doug, would we still need the garbage truck?
No, so I say we sell the garbage truck and use that money to buy the compactor stuff that we need.
Hmm.
So we're not, you know,
Sounds logical to me. I don't know the numbers.
I don't know the numbers neither, I'm just, you know, throwing it out there. Trying to
I
give
mean-
something else to think about, 'cause I just, you know, a lot of people I talk to, this garbage truck is, I don't know, I don't think it's gonna.
Why don't they want it? Why don't they want it? Did they say why they don't want it? 'Cause that's not what I'm hearing at the landfill every week. You know, I mean,
Well, I talked to a woman in Price Chopper, and she said she wasn't for it, she would be keeping her subcontractor that picks her.
I've heard that from several.
Because she thinks that 6 months down the road, Thurman's gonna do away with picking up garbage, and then her contractor's not gonna come back and take care of her because she cancels the contract with them. That's just
Well,
unfortunate.
I've heard
I
that
think
before.
that's a genuine concern and a risk, because if Thurman starts picking up half of the town, then the garbage trucks don't have enough people left to
They're gonna move
make
out
it
of
work. So they're gonna pull out, and then, I mean, even though we all have good intentions, could be a change of administration in a year or two. And we know what happened in previous administrations, they did not wanna do garbage pickup, and it went away. So it becomes a political football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to hear more about Doug's idea about doing a trash compactor. I mean, I'm not taking a position
You
one
ever
way or the
worked
other,
with one
but
before? They freeze up, you gotta depend on somebody and you should spend money to purchase a roll-off truck. Cause you can't depend on pickup. I'm telling you right now, you cannot depend on pickup.
this is what I wanna hear.
I
don't know anything
I
about it.
don't like the compactors, they freeze in. I've talked to several people, well, in fact, we have 2 guys that have dealt with compactors. And you should talk to Kevin or Ronnie Fitz. They freeze up, they have trouble getting them empty. You know,
Is
it's
that-
just different stuff.
Did you say Warrensburg does that?
Yeah,
Well, maybe we should go over and talk to them and see how.
I've been over there and talked to them. I've been over and seen their whole system a couple of times. I checked their scales, their compact, you know.
That way we could still keep our bags with the tags and just come and throw them.
And so when they
You
come,
still have your bins there for your
Right.
It was just becoming the landfill, instead of throwing it in the garbage truck, they was throwing it into a bin where it compacts it and.
That's what it is, it's like a little machine like a
It's,
bin,
it's just like a garbage truck, it's self-contained.
and it just crushes it up.
Crushes it up, and then you have to load it.
How does it get from the compactor into the,
They pull it up on the truck just like they do our 40.
oh, it goes into an actual roll-off type of container that they can pull? Okay, it just keeps crushing it and then they pull it away.
Yeah.
Do we haul the roll off ourselves, Doug, or is that something the county does?
The county does, I believe, or we've got an old town truck, maybe we could convert into a roll-off.
Well, the county will be doing that starting in January. They'll be taking all of our roll-offs. We won't have waste management anymore.
We won't have to deal with it.
I think Julie's putting it out to bid and it'll be, it's gonna be the county that hauls the garbage.
They probably won't like my opinion on that.
Mhm.
I don't have much faith in the county being there on time either. We've dealt with them before.
Well, we'll get all our information and then
That's
we'll
good information.
talk about that.
It's a good thought.
I'd like to see the dollars and cents of each of the options.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. I mean, was curious, I just wanted to throw it out there.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a good suggestion. I've had people talk to me about that. I
The
just-
garbage truck
I-
will end up costing us more money, and it's gonna make a mess around town.
I don't know why.
How many animals are around here now, you go up South Johnburg Road.
Well,
it's
you got
all
animals.
over, it's all over, and it's just gonna get worse.
Whether you have animals or not, I see it every weekend. People come in and buy extra bags because they didn't pick their cans up on time. The bears get in them. I don't even know how to hear that for an excuse, myself. I don't buy that. They shouldn't put their garbage out the night before anyways. They shouldn't sit outside the road. Even in the winter time, if you have a snowstorm, they put them out way too early. The winds knock them over, and then the people complain about that. That's just something they have to learn to deal with. That's just stuff.
I think putting the garbage out the day before is kind of a necessity for some of us, because I know they come between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes to pick garbage up.
Oh, I don't say they don't, but I'm saying that the critters get into them or something. That happens whether you got a can or if you got bags.
Well, they went into mine when I had the can, they've dragged it all over Charles Hill Road, but, it's part of living where the bears are.
We can get prices on
We
it.
can
That's
find
not a
out.
problem.
Yeah,
No,
we can
we'll
find
get-
out.
I'll put you out a quote. I had them before. I don't know if I still got them.
Because we would not only get the compactor, but we'd have to bring in the right electricity to work it. That was what was a holdup was on it.
You'd have to
didn't
go-
have that.
There was other ways you could do it, but you could still spend an extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you call it? Is it three-phase? Is that what they call it?
Well, I'm not sure what you would need.
Well, that would work off hydraulics.
Yeah, but you still got big motors that run.
Wouldn't have to be electric, could be gas, or diesel.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to diesel all day.
I mean, how often are you gonna contact it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Twice a day?
I don't know anything about it really. I just know that I think that's what Chester does and Lawrenceburg does. And
See, all those surrounding towns
is that what they're doing?
Oh, they do, yeah.
then you don't have to pay 2 men on the garbage truck, that cuts that cost out.
Mhm. Okay, well, that's what we'll do. Gather up our information and then we'll figure it out. What's the best thing to do? But in the meantime, I guess we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
I can get a hold of them again, and I'll have them get some quotes, and I'll get them from 2 or 3 different places,
Yeah.
see what it actually takes to
Oh, yeah.
do it. I'll do it. I'll try to get it before our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Not a problem. Some good points.
That's all I have for right now, though. Unless anyone else has a quick discussion they want to talk about.
And now, if we're gonna do something, now's the time to do it while we're redoing the transfer station.
Yeah.
We have, because I'd have to sit down and relay it out.
Okay, you know where everything's
Right,
going.
I'd have to relay it out from what it is right now, that's all.
Since we're talking about transfer station, and the highway garage and all that stuff, years ago, somebody had mentioned to me that, there was a proposal to put a permanent, like, free store at the transfer station. And they even went so far as to start getting plans drawn up, and then,
I
for
remember
whatever
that.
reason, it got killed.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the possibility of having some kind of a small building for those that don't know how it works, it's just when people have something that has some utility to it,
Yeah.
instead of throwing it away or trying to sell it, they just put it in the free store, and somebody that can use it comes along and takes it.
You'd be surprised at the stuff that we put to the side and people take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all the time we have stuff that we don't want to throw away because it's still got some usefulness.
If this is what they would want, we have talked about this before, now, like I said, now's the time to design it and bring it up.
Yep.
We can just pick a spot out and it won't be inconvenience for everyone in our loop.
So I think presently we've tasked the town engineer to include a site plan for the new transfer station as part of the highway garage plan.
It's already moved over, because they're up there.
Right. Okay. I would propose a resolution that we task the town engineer to include a free store and a trash compactor if we decide to go that way on that site plan. So,
On the engineer site plan.
yes.
You do?
Yep.
16 building or something for the free store or something, it's gonna be that big.
I'll ask Gary. I'll ask Gary, where it could be, because where the highway garage is, that's pretty much all taken up with road area.
Well, the green building's gotta
It
come
has to
down.
be on
so-
the other side.
Right, the road will come straight down in front of the green building. We
Mhm.
were gonna put a small building there
Right.
to transfer.
Mhm.
And there's still quite an area left there between that and
Okay.
there will be plenty of.
Gary had told me that, and I keep getting mixed up which town he was talking about, but I think it was either Hague or Horicum, has a very well-designed, very organized transfer station and is very efficient. And I think he wanted to model what we're doing after what they have there. And I just think that it pays to have a plan to do that.
Is that the one where they drop the garbage in and then it's below and they don't have to lift it up and?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And you drive, he said it's a loop, and you
Yeah.
drive in, you dispose of each of your things, and then you just drive back out. There's no traffic jam, it's very organized, and it's very easy for the people working there to get stuff out. And, I just think that it would pay to get something organized that way. And if we're gonna think about a trash compactor, and if we're gonna think about putting a free store there,
Mhm.
put it all together, yeah,
Now's the time to do it before.
get it all organized.
You thought it was Horicon or Hague? I'll ask him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll get information on that. I can ask him that.
He's probably got a lot of information.
So I'll make a motion that we have the town engineer include the free store and plans for a trash compactor on the site plan that's being done for the highway garage / transfer station.
Okay.
I'll second it. Doug seconded it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
See the-
The other thing, I have not had time to go through it, but, I think Carolyn's here sent us all a email / letter, regarding having a comprehensive plan for town properties, because she talked to Matt Simpson's office, and in order to apply for grant monies, we really need a comprehensive plan. That's the first requirement to get any kind of grant monies and stuff.
Yeah,
So-
what's it cost though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't had time to delve into it, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention because she did send that to all of us.
Yeah.
So we should all take a look at it and at some point discuss having that done. I mean, I've advocated all along, once the highway garage is moved out of here, we do need a comprehensive site plan for this property to decide what we're gonna do as far as getting rid of the Harris house, what we're gonna do with the highway garage, if we're gonna do any improvements to the town hall, to the recreation field, improve our parking situation, improve the youth building, all that stuff. So if we're gonna apply for grant money, that's the first step, is to get a comprehensive plan done. So,
I just want to know what the highway garage is gonna cost and the opportunity to get a bond. I mean, I have to go for a bond.
Yep.
And I need to know what that's gonna cost.
Yep.
Because if, I'm trying for 30-year, I talked to someone at the county today where you might be able to get 40-year. But right now, what if the bank sticks to the 15-year plan? That raises that.
We cannot afford a bond on a 15-year.
No, I know. No, we cannot. But I need to know those I need to know what's coming
Yeah.
before we commit to spending any other money.
Well, let me back up. When I'm talking about a comprehensive plan, I'm not talking about actually tackling any new projects right away.
No.
Almost like a 10-year plan.
It's just,
But you'd be paying the engineer to do that.
right, but I think it would be a nominal amount of money. It's nothing compared to what we're doing with the highway garage. It's just the initial site plan,
Yeah.
so that if any grant money becomes available, we have a comprehensive plan
Yeah.
and we can apply for it. Because here's the thing, if grant money becomes available, we don't have a site plan or a comprehensive plan, then we can't apply for it. And at that point, you turn around to the town engineer, say, hey, we need this. You missed the deadline for the grant application. So it's kind of like you need to have this in order to get the ball rolling.
And you need to know whether it's matching or reimbursement.
Absolutely. And I don't even know what grants are available out there, but basically Matt Simpson's office told Carolyn that this is step one, we need to have this.
Right.
So,
If you wanted to move forward, but we need to know we have money to either match it or put it out and get reimbursed, because that's how they usually will work.
yes. Yep.
Because I know I've talked to supervisors and they wait for the reimbursement, they've already laid out all their money. Well, right now, you'll see when you go through the budget, it's tight, it's very tight, and, I don't know if we can get, I'd just rather know what my numbers definitely are to know what to do here.
Fair enough.
Mm. So, a lot of variables right now. I just feel more comfortable with real numbers. So, if we were to sell the garbage truck, I don't know what a compactor costs, but I'm sure we have money left over and probably can maybe do, something else there, like the free store building or whatever. That could work out. Kind of reminds me of EMS. We paid off the ambulance and lost our squad. But we have to do whatever's right, whatever's the best idea. So if that works and bringing in that electric isn't that much money, we can look into all that.
There's other things they can do without running three-phase. Three-phase ends are very expensive. Tommy down from Northern Hardware wanted to have that put in at one time. And you could afford it.
Oh yeah, he's running a lot of big electric motors and stuff like that, and he needs it, but I have a feeling Doug's probably right, that trash compactor, the amount of electricity probably isn't that significant, because it's probably primarily hydraulic.
They are, so it still depends on what you come up with.
All I know is I looked into it and was told we didn't have electricity, we didn't have enough electric there. But that might be different now,
Definitely it will be.
because they're bringing in more powerful electric than highway garage. So if it's just a matter of bumping it up a little bit more, I mean, I can ask Gary about that.
He'll straighten it out.
And then our garbage takes up less space too. And the landfill, is that what they do with it, or they burn?
I don't know where to go with it now.
Do you know what they do with the compacted garbage? Do they burn it or bury it or?
Still goes the same spot.
Yeah, still go to the same spot. Same place like Hiram Hollow.
Oh, yeah?
It says
Hiram Hollow, Green Ridge, I think Green Ridge, they can dump it.
Mm-hmm.
How long that'll last.
then the plant burns it and Hiram Hollow hauls it someplace else, right?
And they burn it. We'll see.
And then they burn it.
Yeah, maybe, I don't
That's
know.
it, burn
Maybe we should just burn it.
it. Yeah. They used to.
All right, well, you all got your budgets, let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Feel free to call me anytime, come down, whatever you wanna do. Ask me how I come up with a number, whatever you want. And the more we figure it out in advance, the less time we have to spend going over every single account code and, and I'll try to get as much information. I'll have the financials for the meeting on the 17th. We'll know where we are as of 3/4 of the year. And kind of better idea of what we've got left to spend. I know in October and November is the final payment on the loader and that one truck. And then the other 2 trucks we start paying the end of February. So, yeah, February next year.
Okay.
All right,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it. All in favor, say aye. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Okay, you have a good night. See you later.
I've had a long Everybody was involved. Well, I wish more people would come because, not that I want to be on camera saying that, but
You guys are clicking
Together, that's good.